I never met my grandfather, so the only way I could get to know him was through stories that my dad told. And my grandpa Tom was a pretty crazy character, and I used to sit on my dad's knee just listening to all these crazy stories about him. But I want to share one with you today, and that was about Grandpa's neighbor Bill. They were farmers, and Bill was the farmer whose life was hard. He told everyone how difficult it was, how unfair it was, how he just wished he could get it over and done with, and people got tired of listening to him. It was the 1930s, so they weren't as understanding of mental illness as they could have been. And the one day, Bill arrived on my grandpa's farm and he said, "Tom, I can't. I've tried everything and I've had it. I need to kill myself. Please, please, can I borrow your shotgun?" And my grandpa Tom looked at him straight in the eye and said, "Bill, I'd love to lend you my shotgun, but unfortunately, if you use it to kill yourself, you're going to buckle the barrel. Do you mind if I just quickly go get my rifle? That's going to be much better." Bill was outraged. "Tom, how can you be such a mean son of a bitch? I can't believe that you wouldn't care about the fact that I want to kill myself. Bugger you, I'm going home." And Bill went home. He never killed himself. And I'm not saying that what my grandfather did was a good thing, but what he did do was he ignited Bill's FU factor. I call it the FU factor because I think sometimes when we're stuck, when things aren't moving, we need someone to just get that FU in us going so we get angry enough to go and change what's not working. Now, I know this to be true because it's happened many times in my life. The only reason I ever started singing was because a relationship ended so badly with so many insults that I thought, F you, I'm going to get famous and I'm going to show you that I can do this. And then 10 years later, when I hadn't quite got as famous as I was hoping to get, I had lost my mom, my career wasn't working out, I was feeling depressed, I was being a bit of a Bill, if I'm honest. And I was looking to buy a home with my partner at the time. We'd agreed to go in 50-50, and we'd just seen a house that was 200,000 Rand more than what we could afford. And so I just said, "Well, why don't you put in the difference? And then as I earn more money, I'll pay for the renovations and I'll pay it back later." And I will never forget what happened then. He looked at me and he said, "Verity, I'm just thinking about how your career's going and how much money you're earning. And honestly, it's going to take you 10 years to earn 200,000 Rand. He meant to say save, but he said the word earn. I was furious. I was like, "What do you mean it's going to take me 10 years to earn 200,000 Rand? Are you kidding me?" And he said, no, I meant save. But he had said earn. My ego was up. My FU factor was up. And the gift that insult gave me was the fact that I'd been accredited to facilitate Six Thinking Hats, Edward de Bono's work, for a year. I hadn't had the courage to step into a corporate boardroom and try and facilitate. When I got told it's going to take you 10 years to earn 200,000 Rand, I was like, let me show you. And I picked up the phone to the business results group who had the license for de Bono's work in South Africa the next day. I said, "When do I start?" And they said, "How about in 2 weeks' time?" And I threw myself into learning the content, getting ready to facilitate, facing my fears, walking into a boardroom for the first time in my life, from being a singer to being a facilitator. And I started training. But I can promise you, without that insult, I might have taken another 2 or 3 years to get moving. So these people that hurt us often also help us. That's what I've seen. If I look back over my life, I can see the people that have hurt me have often also helped me to take another step and to get that FU factor going so that I can just get moving. So I just wanted to share this today because I'm looking back at the last 10 or 12 years of facilitating and going, if I hadn't had that insult, how long would I have waited? If my grandfather hadn't been cheeky enough to say, "I don't want you to buckle the barrel of my shotgun," what might have happened to Bill? Because when these people that hurt us ignite that FU factor, it also helps us to get moving. So it's just a thought for the day. Look back over your life. You maybe want to pick up the phone and say, "Thank you. Thank you for irritating me so much that I got angry enough to do something about it." But if nothing else, look at where you're holding yourself back and maybe just give yourself an insult so that you can ignite that FU factor and get moving. It's just a thought. And I'm sure I'll be sharing more stories about my grandfather and my dad in coming videos.